Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and this is same series of .NET MAUI, and this session will learn actually how we can set up our app config setting in this .NET MAUI and read the data or value from that app.setting file. Okay, so far what we have learned, we learn like see we learn actually that binding of the list, and also we loaded the detail page, navigations, add forms, update. Okay, it's gone again. Okay, so let me open again. So yeah, let me. So add form. So whatever we create a add form, and then you will put the data, and it will save to our, it will call API and save it to API data in API, and come back to our list and edit over here. Okay, so far we learn over here, and now we'll learn. Okay, so as of now, see, if you go to my applications, okay, so also if I recommend, if you first time came here in my channel, so I specially recommend to you go to our, my channel. I also share this link to my description. Go to that .NET MAUI series. I actually write, create a many session for that .NET MAUI. Okay, so these are actually, see, if you go to playlist, so definitely will check out my many things actually, Docker, MAUI, clean architecture, everything's over here. Okay, so go to that .NET MAUI in .NET MAUI playlist, and you will see all the session. Okay, so let me start. Okay, how we can achieve that configuration, how we can move to, our uh, our code file configuration step to our uh, app.setting file. Okay, so there is some few steps. So first, what you have to do, you have to install few new NuGet packages. Okay, so what are they? So let me find that one. So first, Microsoft Builder. Okay, this is first one we have to install to achieve this functionality in .NET MAUI. So just install, and it will. Okay, so let me zoom in. What is that package name so that you can check it? Okay, so this is the package name, Microsoft Extension Configuration Builder. Okay, this is that one. So now another one is JSON one, like configuration JSON. See, this is that second one. So this is first step. You have to install these two packages in your application. Okay, just install. Also make sure like version, whatever your target version. So make sure that one. Okay, let me zoom one more time. So this is that another one, and this is that another one. Okay, so then first step done. Now what we have to do, we have to create our app setting file. Okay, so how we can do that? Just add new item, find the JSON file. Okay, over here, JSON, and choose that any one of that. Okay, so I'm choosing that one, and just, you know just we can name it whatever name we want, so that we can use it like appsetting.json file. Okay, so let me put that name over here. See, app.setting file. Okay, and later also we can create many file actually. Many, it is a, common file, so that this file will use whenever you running. Okay, but scenario is like, suppose you have different environment like validation environment, you have production in real time production deployment. So that time you have to actually create more and uh, more more JSON file actually, so config file. So that will show you how we can do that, but first we have to just integrate, the simple one. Okay, so let me add some name, our key name, like what is our key name of API URI. Okay, so API URI, and then pass it to our API name. So what is our API name? So if you go to, your API name is would be different. My API is this one. Okay, so this is our my API, and this API actually I have in a blog API, and this I have a get, post, delete, everything. So if you don't know how we can create a clean architecture with the web API, so also if you have to, especially recommend to you go to my channel. Okay, now start. Okay, now move it to our project. Okay, so whatever our API name, so just copy over here our domain. So this is my domain. Just copy my domain and go to my app.config file and paste it over here. Okay, this is one way, and we'll show you actually in the end of this video, like there's another way also. Like if it is a separate key, we can read from here directly. Also if we have, okay, like we have a, that collection, like suppose API settings. Okay, so how we can read that one also in my, as a class, how we can read this, collection, that object. There is a object like, in API key have as, many key, like, okay, first is API URI. Okay, and then for example this is, or suppose other endpoint. Okay, other end endpoint key. Okay, and so on. So like if you do, you have, many key, like, so we can just keep it here and then we can read it over here also. That is the second way. I'll show you how we can do that. So as of now, so we'll go to the first approach. So this is my first approach. Okay, so this is done. Now what we have to do, we have to go to my.program file. Actually we need to write some configuration in this my.config, my.program.cs file. Okay, so how we can do that and what are the configuration? Okay, so first we have to write some code over here. Just right click after just builder creator. Okay, after creator builder we have to implement something, like for example, like I just put where and just, you know get assembly. Okay, and then we have to call assembly dot, actually we'll use the reflection. So we're trying to get the assembly. Okay, so get execute assembly, so this one. So this method will call, so that, whatever assemblies file, if we want to read, so that will help actually. So this is done, it is first step is done. Now we'll write another step, like using, or I just, instead of writing a code, I just get it from here. But yeah, I think this is fine. Using statement where stream, we need to stream data, actually whatever our file, that app.setting file, we actually stream those data. So how we can do that? We can just stream, then call it to whatever get assembly object variable, and then we'll call a extension method that is name is get manifest stream. Okay, get manifest resource stream. Okay, so this is one, and then we have to pass that string name. So what is my string name? What is my string name is that this one. This is my file name. But how they assembly, how we'll find that assembly, like based on our application name. So what is my application name? This is my application name. Okay, so this application name dot whatever our file name. Okay, so this is my file name, and just paste it over here. That's it. Okay, so this is done. Then I will get a stream, and based on the stream, what I need to do, I need to add in our configuration. So how we can do that one. So let me add that one also, where config. Okay, we have to set this config, and then we have to use new configuration builder. Okay, so this is that one. We have to call configuration builder. We don't pass it to stream over here. Okay, then use that extension method, add JSON stream. Okay, so add JSON stream. I think I need to bring that namespace. Okay, so let me bring that namespace. It is new configuration builder. So it's complaining me. So yeah, this is configuration builder. Okay, and then add JSON stream and then pass it to our stream. Okay, over here. So whatever environment we can pass it over here. That's it. And finally build that configuration. That's it. Okay, and finally we have to register that configuration in our configuration builder configuration. So builder dot, there's a configuration, and then dot add configuration. We call this method, and then that's it. So these few lines we have to do to set up our app.configuration read file and add into our application configuration. Okay, so once it's done, okay, now go to our where we want to use that configuration, actually read to file from that configuration and use it. So go to here, because we already use directly our URL like this way, so we don't use like this way. So just you have to comment this line as of now. Okay, so just comment this line and just pass it to as of now empty. Okay, or we can keep it, or just we can remove it. Okay, okay, no, we don't remove it, because just keep it somewhere else so that you can understand how it's working actually. So what is that, because we store only this domain, but we have not stored this part. So this part we actually we have to manipulate over here. Okay, so how we can do that? In the constructor you have to call that I configuration. So icon configuration. So I configuration, and just set it the variable, and also just use the shortcut key control dot, and you will see that, create a sign field and configuration. Just use that one, because we use the property, private property, and then we have to assign that that property variable to our I configuration. Okay, so once it's done, let me call over here. That's it. Okay, so simply configuration dot, not configuration dot, just see, in this configuration there is a expected key. So whatever our key, you can just pass. What is our key? Just check it. Our key name is this. Okay, so this is our key name. So I just pass it. So definitely now we'll get that domain. Okay, so just rename it API, or API base URI. Okay, so this is our API base URI, but we have to pass API base URI along with whatever our endpoint name. So this is our endpoint name, API dot blog. Okay, so that need to actually just concatenate. So how we can do that? Just create another property over here, or uh, we can directly over here as well. But yeah, we'll keep it separate so that you can understand. So let me use a string and API URI. So base URI plus, and this URI, this one. Okay, copy this, just use this. That's it. And also there's another way we can use the menu interpolation. So we can use a dollar sign we can just copy this guy, okay, and then you can keep it to this guy. Okay, there's a many way actually to manipulate or your your data. Okay, so that's it. Okay, this is a simple way. So whatever configuration, so domain name, so this is your domain name and this is your endpoint. Okay, so I keep it over here. Same thing we can do. Okay, let me check first, like that is getting or not. So let put me up debugger point over here. Okay, and remove this one as of now, so that no confusion. Okay, and just run your application to Android. Yes, that Android, and run it. Okay, finally build succeed and deploy in our emulator, and it's running. Okay, so see, there's some issue. Okay, so what is the issue? We'll fix it, because definitely we'll try something so we can get those issue. So issue is, it is saying source stream cannot be null. Okay, so why it's saying like that? So let me figuring out. We pass our this one and then our appsettings.js, but I think let me stop. Okay, and see, check like that resource is okay. See, that part is missing actually. So we add a app.setting file, but one setting actually be missing. We have to set something. So go to property and build action. It should be a resource, something called embedded resources. Okay, so you have to set this one. Okay, let me zoom in, but okay, so first, and the second one is copy output directory would be your copy to always or copy if never. Okay, so those two is these two options, we can choose anyone. Okay, there's not an issue. So let me zoom in. Okay, so this is important. So this two setting is very important for this file, so that our application know, okay, which type of this, what is the file and what is the action of this file. So this file action is resources. This file contain as a resources, so that is why actually that resources stream can get, and it will show. Okay, so let me run one more time. Okay, finally run once more time. It is build success deployment. Now see, now our application, our debugger point hit, because that that load data async is called while running our application. And see, this is configuration object, and it have two providers or properties. See, if you go to properties, if you check, there's a nothing, but yeah, it should come. Okay, see, finally, based on the key, whatever I get, whatever I stored in our app.setting, so this data will will fetch over here. Okay, and now finally we manipulate that our API. See, this is our final API, and run it our application. Definitely that data should be appearing. Okay, so our endpoint will call and fetch the data. See, now our data coming with my app setting. Okay, so this is the one way to directly read to uh, directly read over here. So let me stop. I'll show you another approach. So this is first approach to get, and now we'll try to another approach. Okay, so second approach. Okay, so what is the second approach? Simply you can create a class. Okay, we'll bind whatever collection in this app setting, will bind that class and we'll use that class. Okay, so how can we do that? So very straightforward and simple. The call it name is like, okay, uh, API configuration setting. Okay, API configuration settings. Just add it. Okay, I'll keep it actually over here, but yeah, we can keep it a folder, and then inside that folder we can keep it. Okay, so first we'll create a folder, uh, app configuration. Okay, app configuration, and just move it to this file to here. It will automatically change, everything will adjust. Okay, so that is fine. Okay, let's cancel that, and now just change it to public. Okay, so that I can access, and just make some property over here. So make it property like string, and that name is API URI, API URI, and then just for example another property, and just string uh, example. Okay, so test, or just test URI. Okay, so for example it is not any use, actually just a test URI. Okay, and just go to your application. Okay, so this is fine, and this name actually should be same. Whatever name, that name should be same, that you have to make sure. Okay, so just change it to here, and also we can comment it out here. Yes, we can comment over here, not an issue, because so that it is a first approach, will not reading from again. Okay, or just leave it. Actually both we can show you, like how we can how we can read both approach. Okay, so app dot setting, it's fine, and just another property whatever we set it over here, test URI. So test URI, just set it here like test URI. Okay, that is done. Okay, and now move it to our view folder, main view folder. Okay, so how we can achieve that one? Okay, so this is directly we can achieve over here, but yeah, there's another approach, so that I can read it like for example string API URI, API URI. Okay, and just comment it as of now, this one, API URI, and not API URI, just this one. Okay, so create a instance variable of this class. Okay, application setting, so make it to application setting as also is a variable of this instance, and then finally call to this dot get required section. So what is our required section is, see, it's asking the key. So what is our key? Our section key is, see, this is section key. So just give it, pass it to over here, and then dot get, and this is actually generic method, so that whatever section you just mentioned based on your class, so it will populated, or deserialize our data into this class. Okay, so this is done, and then finally what need to do, just uncomment this one, and instead of this what I can do, I can use, just paste it that application.json, and what is our API name? API name would be stored here, api.uri. Okay, that's simple. Okay, let me run one more time and see the both approach have a data, getting data or not. Okay, let me check. This is actually the second approach, would be for that big application. So for the demonstration perspective, this is first approach is fine, but I'll show you because in real scenario you can use like this. Okay, that's why I actually demonstrate to second approach as well. Might be this video can take a little bit long because I am explaining everything is deep, so that, but yeah, That is important for real scenario. Once you trying to build in real scenario, that time definitely you will require those things. Okay, finally run. See, my debugger point is there. See, data is coming from first approach as well. Now we are trying to bind this app setting to in this class. So let me show you. Let me explain. Show you. See, this is this is also binding, but yeah. So I forget something like this is a fake URI. I means that this is not a right URI, right? So that's why it will not work because I just binding over here. So let me stop. Okay, and pass it to correct URI over here as well. Okay, so just copy and just paste it. Okay, so now our URI is correct. Okay, it's run. Now again, let's show you. See, bind this here. See, this time I'm getting the correct URI, which is we want. Okay, also this test URI. See, this other one. Okay, so it should be okay. See, now finally achieved whatever we are trying to achieve in this session. Okay, so as expected. So also we can change it. Okay, now we remove that debugger. Okay, so see, now our things is working as expected. That is all for this session. Okay, so also I'll share those link, know those link and stuff, and this code also I'll share with my description. So keep tuning, and yeah, have a nice day, and don't forget to subscribe and share and like. Okay, thank you.